time you're watching 6 Stories at 6 with me, Tanisha Awasthi. We have a power-packed show lineup for you, where we first up begin with the budget special edition, followed by other stories that have made headlines. First up, we'll tell you why the budget is a bonanza for the middle class, and after the budget being announced, what becomes cheaper for you and what becomes costly. We'll tell you the changes that you should keep an eye on. Also on the show, we'll tell you what the right to die policy that Karnataka will be implementing is all about. Story number 4, the battle lines in Delhi are drawn and Kejriwal has made an appeal to woo his voters. Story number 5 on the show, from Dhaka to Tamil Nadu now, the threat of illegal immigration is only growing. And finally, we'll get you the details of the American aviation nightmare. That's the 6th story that we are tracking for you. First story on the broadcast that we are getting for you, as the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman tabled the Union Budget 2025. The budget of Modi government 3.0 came as a huge relief for the middle class under the new tax system. Those earning up to 12 lakh would not be obliged to pay taxes, an announcement that sent the House into cheers. Now, what we also know is that the government has established new tax slabs to significantly lower middle-class taxes and give them money to increasing household consumption, savings and investment. The budget also introduces a simpler, more transparent tax system focusing on trust and self-certification. Additionally, the annual TDS limit on rent is being raised from rupees 2.40 lakh to rupees 6 lakh. This will give a much-needed financial relief, especially for retirees who rely on interest and rental earnings. From a cut in income tax to focus on driving consumption, it is interesting to look at who gained and who lost from Nirmala Sitharaman's 8th budget for the Aam Aadmi.
Personal income tax reforms with special focus on middle class. Democracy, demography and demand are the key support pillars in our journey towards Vikasit Bharat. The middle class provides strength for India's growth. This government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, has always believed in the admirable energy and ability of the middle class in nation building. In recognition of their contribution, we have periodically reduced their tax burden. Right after 2014, the nil tax slab was raised to 2.5 lakhs of rupees, which was further raised to 5 lakh rupees in 2019 and to 7 lakh rupees in 2023. This is reflective of our government's trust on the middle class taxpayers. I am now happy to announce that there will be no income tax payable up to income of 12 lakh rupees.
Now, the budget for 2025 was hailed not just by the Prime Minister but also the other union ministers. Listen in to what they have to say on the middle class bonanza.
अब इस बजट में 12 लाख रुपए तक की आय को टैक्स से मुक्त कर दिया गया है। मिडिल क्लास को इससे बहुत बड़ा लाभ होने वाला है। उसी प्रकार से जो नए नए प्रोफेशन में आए हैं, जिनको नए नए जॉब मिले हैं, इनकम टैक्स की ये मुक्ति उनके लिए एक बहुत बड़ा अवसर बन जाएगी।
यह बजट विकसित भारत के संकल्प को गति देने वाला बजट है। इस बजट में गरीब और किसान का कल्याण है, वंचितों का सम्मान है और नारी शक्ति और मध्यम वर्ग का उत्थान समाहित है।
The Honorable Finance Minister has met the demand of large section of middle class, particularly as more and more poor are coming into the middle class with rising incomes. I think it's a great relief to all those people.
इस बजट में हमारे डिफेंस फोर्सेस के रेवेन्यू बजट के अंतर्गत 3,11,000 करोड़ रुपए से अधिक का एलोकेशन किया गया है, जो पिछले फाइनेंशियल ईयर के एलोकेशन से 10% अधिक है। यदि यह कहा जाए कि अपने में अभूतपूर्व है तो यह कहना अतिशयोक्ति नहीं होगी।
मध्यम आय वर्ग के लिए देते हुए टैक्स की रिबेट में छूट देने का जो कदम उठाया गया है ये सभी स्वागत योग्य है। इस बजट से अर्थव्यवस्था को एक नई उड़ान मिलेगी।
12 लाख तक का ये सफ़र हमारे मिडिल क्लास, सैलरीड और हमारे जो नए तरुण हैं इनके लिए एक बहुत ही सुखकारी इस प्रकार का अनुभव होगा।
वर्ष 2025-26 के बजट में अर्थव्यवस्था के सभी क्षेत्रों के साथ सभी वर्गों के लिए उचित प्रावधान किए हैं। बजट में विकास दर में वृद्धि, समावेशी विकास पर विशेष फोकस प्रदान कर संतुलित विकास का रोड मैप प्रस्तुत किया है।
I want to compliment the Honorable Finance Minister. It's her 8th budget, and this is a budget which caters to all sections of the economy. But more than that, it provides a kind of relief to the salaried middle class, which is very welcome, which was anticipated partly.
Now, keeping on the budget, the Finance Minister's policy announcement has resulted in price reduction for several items. After Nirmala Sitharaman's budget for 2025-2026, what becomes cheaper for you and what gets costly? Here are the changes that you should keep an eye on.
The commodities under Modi 3.0's ambitious budget have gone through an overhaul. While affordability has increased for various items, many have also gotten more pricey. First up is life-saving drugs. In a bold announcement, cancer, chronic disease medicines and over 36 life-saving drugs will now be fully exempted from basic custom duties. Electronic goods, including flat panel display, touch glass sheet, touch sensor for LED or LCD TVs, have been reduced from 15 to 5% when it comes to prices. Fish and seafood, along with EV and phone batteries, have also seen a considerable cut, relieving many who rose in cheers at the announcement. This clearly ties in with the economic survey, which noted that food inflation is expected to decrease in the last quarter of financial year 2025. In fact, motorcycle imports have also joined the band. Customs duty on engine capacity not exceeding 1600cc have been reduced by 40%. Now, on to the items and commodities that may pinch your pocket. From imported knitted fabric to interactive flat display, items in this category are seeing a surge of about 20%. Telecom equipment and plastic products are also among items which will now cost you more. The budget has clearly made certain import items more expensive. Apart from the already listed imported knitted fabric, this also includes imported candles and imported footwear. Now remember, the budget comes in the backdrop of the GDP growth rate projected to fall to 4-year low of 6.4% in the current financial year.
All right, I'm being joined by Shubhrakant Panda, who is former FICCI president. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking to Republic. The budget for 2025 is out. Do you believe and do you feel that this budget is a bonanza for the middle class?
Good evening. Yes, certainly as far as the budget for 25-26 is concerned, I think it is a significant budget which has brought about a large concession for the salaried middle class, as you mentioned. And this is something which is going to put money in the hands of people, 1 lakh crore at that. And that is ultimately going to find its way into the economy, whether by way of investments or by way of consumption. And therefore, it will provide a noticeable boost, which is what I think everybody had been expecting partly. But it's wonderful to see that and see a measure, which it's something which has been carefully thought through, and it's not a half measure. It's a significant jump from from 7 lakhs to 12 lakhs being the exemption limit. And as I said, I think it'll provide a noticeable boost to the economy, but as ultimately this money finds its way into investment or consumption.
Right. Mr. Panda, what I also want to know from you is what are your opinions on the new tax regime that the Finance Minister has introduced?
So, over the past several budgets, the Finance Minister has been gently nudging people towards the new tax regime, which, as you know, does away with exemptions, but balances that by having a lower rate. Now, this is something which is a very distinct sort of move to encourage people to the new tax regime. And I think that is the better way, because we are, whether it is in terms of personal taxes or corporate taxes, I think the intent is to ultimately, have the new tax regime being the prevalent one. And that makes life a lot simpler. It is, and especially in line with her comments in the budget speech today, to move towards more trust-based regulation. And she specifically referred to how, taxpayers have repaid that trust in terms of, filing additional income where it was warranted. So I think it's a good move overall.
Right. Shubhrakant Panda, thank you very much for speaking to Republic. Really appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Former FICCI president there, sharing his views on how he sees the 2025 budget. We are also being joined by PK Basu, who is an economist. PK Basu, thank you very much for speaking to Republic. Your first views on how do you see this budget for the middle class?
Well, it's a bonanza for the middle class, no doubt. It was expected that there would be some relief for the middle class, but what has actually transpired is what can only be called a bazooka of benefits. The substantial reduction in direct tax rates for those going for the new scheme is huge. There's a exemption for all income up to 12.75 lakhs, and in addition, every taxpayer will see a reduction in rates. So this is a huge positive for the middle class, no doubt. Now, apart from that, I'd also like to just keep some focus on the fact that the fiscal deficit is coming down. The fiscal deficit is coming down to 4.4% of GDP. I think in actuality, it'll be even lower than that. Both this year and next year, the numbers are likely to be even better. And I think that this budget provides the wherewithal for exports to really do a lot better going forward. There's substantial benefits to exporters in the form of lower customs duties, and in particular, customs duties for exportables. And basically, India is going to become part of global supply chains much more effectively as a result of the reduced customs duties. And of course, the inversion of duty rates has also been addressed. So a lot has been done on a variety of factors. And in addition, labor-intensive manufacturing is going to get a very substantial boost. So there isn't much not to like about this budget. This is a very positive budget for the medium-term growth outlook.
Right. PK Basu, thank you very much for speaking to Republic and sharing our views on that. For now, we move on and shift our focus to what's happening in Karnataka. Now, after Kerala, Karnataka has become the second state in India to implement the right to die with dignity policy in accordance with the Supreme Court directive. The move aims to benefit terminally ill patients with no hope of recovery. Now, this will allow for the withdrawal of life-sustaining treatment when no longer beneficial. The government has laid down guidelines. Additionally, the Supreme Court has recognized advanced medical directives and laid down a procedure for executing and implementing them. All right, so that's the policy that Karnataka has taken up in accordance with the Supreme Court order. On that, we are being joined by Dr. Pradeep, Doctor, thank you very much for speaking to Republic. Your first views on the right to die with dignity policy that Karnataka has adopted in accordance with the Supreme Court order.
Yes, this is a very appreciable and bold decision taken by the Karnataka state government. And here in many of the hospitals, or in our own hospital where we are working in Bangalore, the Bowring and Lady Curzon hospitals, we do come across many patients who are terminally ill. And at that point of time, the relatives of the patients will be in a very confused state so as to go ahead with the treatment or not. When there are no signs of recovery, or when the patient is on full support and yet the patient is not showing any signs of improvement. So this gives clarity on how to go ahead with such type of patients in near future.
Right, Dr. Pradeep, thank you very much for speaking to Republic. On that note, we move on and shift our focus to what's happening in the national capital. Now, with just 4 days to go for Delhi elections, Arvind Kejriwal is going all out to woo the voters in the national capital, hoping for Aam Aadmi Party to come back for the third time. Kejriwal once reached out to Delhi voters. Kejriwal claimed that under the Aam Aadmi Party, an average family in the national capital saves around 25,000 per month, and claimed that these savings would be at the risk when BJP comes to power. First, listen into what that statement of Arvind Kejriwal is.
कुछ दिन पहले एक बीजेपी का कट्टर समर्थक मिला, बड़ी हल्की सी गंदी सी स्माइल देके बोला, अरविंद जी अगर आप हार गए तो क्या होगा? मैंने कहा तो भैया ये बताओ, अगर मैं हार गया तो तेरा क्या होगा? दिल्ली में फ्री बिजली, फ्री पानी, फ्री इलाज, अच्छे स्कूल, 24 घंटे बिजली, महिलाओं की फ्री बस यात्रा, ये तो सब बंद हो जाएंगे। वो संतुष्ट हो गया, बोला सर मैं इस चुनाव में तो आपको वोट दे दूंगा, पर मैं बीजेपी नहीं छोड़ूंगा। मैंने भी मुस्कुरा के कहा भाई जैसी तेरी मर्जी। मेरी सभी बीजेपी के सपोर्टर से अपील है कि अगर बीजेपी आ गई तो आपको हमारी सरकार से मिलने वाली सारी सुविधाएं बंद हो जाएंगी। मोटे मोटे तौर पे 25,000 रुपए हर महीने की चपत लगने लगेगी। हैं इतने पैसे? भुगत लोगे? नहीं ना? तो फिर मैं आपका भाई होने के नाते आपको सलाह दे रहा हूं, झाड़ू पे वोट दो। आप चाहे अपनी पार्टी मत छोड़ो, लेकिन इस चुनाव में झाड़ू पे वोट दे दो। इसी में आपका और आपके परिवार का फायदा है। और हाँ, अगर आपको कभी पर्सनल काम भी हो तो अपने इस भाई के पास आ जाना, मैं हमेशा आपके काम आऊंगा।
Meanwhile, there is another raging topic ahead of the polling day, the politics of Yamuna, or rather the toxic politics. While the Aam Aadmi Party has been pinning the blame on the BJP meanwhile has said that this is an attempt by Kejriwal to hide his failed attempt in delivering his promises.
जिस तरह का स्टेटमेंट देता है ये पॉलिटिकली तो खराब गलत है ही है। इवन देखा जाए तो नॉर्म्स दे भी ਜਿਹੜੇ सोशल नॉर्म्स होंगे हैं या लीगली भी he should be held liable for that।
कि दिल्ली में 3G की सरकार चल रही है। 3G का मतलब मालूम है आपको? मैं बताता हूं, ठहर जाओ। पहले जी से है घोटाले वाली सरकार, दूसरे जी से है घुसपैठियों को पनाह देने वाली सरकार, और तीसरे जी से है घपले करने वाली सरकार।
From Dhaka to Tamil Nadu, that is what our next story is all about. BJP Tamil Nadu chief K. Annamalai has raised a huge concern, saying that about 75 illegal Bangladeshi immigrants are out on bail, reputedly missing in Tamil Nadu. Annamalai also questioned the police, asking if this was done on purpose. So there's a big allegation that has been raised by BJP Tamil Nadu chief. On that, I am also being joined by YG Madhuvanti, who is a BJP leader. Ma'am, thank you very much for speaking to Republic. This is a huge allegation that the BJP Tamil Nadu President K. Annamalai has raised against the DMK, saying that the DMK is shielding illegal immigrants, especially at a time when the crackdown on illegal immigrants is a must. What do you have to say on that?
Good evening, and I think this is a huge threat to national security. I mean, Tamil Nadu is not some independent country. It's very much an integral part of India. And when you have a bunch of 75 odd illegal immigrants who just go missing, I think it's something that really needs to be addressed. And the government of Tamil Nadu must take this up seriously. In fact, I sincerely implore the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, under whom law and order comes as a portfolio here, to take this up very seriously and give an explanation as to how 75 illegal immigrants who are out on bail just go missing. I mean, is it that simple to go missing when you are out on bail? In Tamil Nadu, where the Tamil Nadu police has always been hailed to be one of the best in the country? You mean to say that 75 immigrants just went missing under their watch? I mean, this doesn't sound right. Does it sound right?
Absolutely. Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you very much for speaking to Republic. The BJP there levelling serious allegations against the DMK in Tamil Nadu. For now, we move on and shift our focus. Now, 3 days and 2 crashes. At least 6 people are feared dead after a small private plane crashed in Philadelphia. The tragedy follows just 2 days after a passenger jet and military helicopter collided in Washington, killing all 67 people on board. In Philadelphia, a medical transport plane crashed into several buildings, setting homes and vehicles ablaze and injuring people on the ground. The plane has been on a medical transport mission carrying a child, patient and her mother, and 4 crew members. Take a look at what transpired.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Oh my God! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! What the hell? What the hell?
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of 6 Stories at 6. We will be back tomorrow, same time, with more agenda-setting stories. Don't go anywhere. Thank you very much for watching.